Hey everybody, I'm Jimmy Rance. I want to talk to two different groups of people today. One, I want to talk to full-time RVers who make YouTube videos basically for a living. And I would like to talk to those of you who are considering becoming a full-time RVer. I want to talk to both sides because I think it's really important. I don't think there's too many RVers out there who are really telling it the way it is. There are some. But I don't even know where to go with this. I do, but I don't. So bear with me. I'll get my thoughts together. Listen, for you guys out there that make videos about how wonderful the RV lifestyle is compared to the sticks and bricks, I want you to think about something. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to wave the moral baton around. I'm really not. I'm not trying to be holier than thou. I'm just trying to get in touch with the moral side of you, the decent side of you that's within you. And I know it's there. I want you to understand something. There's a lot of people, and I'm going to use myself as an example too. There's a lot of people that are very vulnerable. There's a lot of people that's kind of down in the dumps. There's some people fighting depression. There's some people that are they're at the end of their rope, like the old saying, well, if you're at the end of the rope, tie a knot and hang on, And they're very easy to convince. But you RVers who make these wonderful, nice smiles all the time, how great the RV life is, I don't want you to lead people astray. And I don't want you to try to pull some of these vulnerable people who are having problems, into leaving what they have to go out and chase the dream that you're selling on YouTube, if you know what I mean. A lot of you RVers, you paint a picture of everything is just roses and rainbows out there. You always got your smiles on, like I said a while ago. But when you shut your camera off, you step into reality. And the reality is, it's very hard. It's not easy being a full-time RVer. Not everybody is pensioned well. Not everybody makes a really nice retirement check, a Social Security check. There's some of you that do, and you can live the lifestyle pretty much that you want. You have it made. But I'm thinking about the poor person who lives in an apartment, or maybe they have a house or something, and maybe they've experienced something like me. Here's where I'm going to use me as an example. Some of you are probably sick of hearing me say it. Sorry, I'm going to say it anyway. 4 months ago, my wife died. And my wife and I were RVers. We had 2 RVs, and we really enjoy the RV lifestyle. I've been RVing ever since I was probably 14 years old. And before that, I was a tent camper as a little boy. Even before I joined the Boy Scouts, I love that lifestyle. I love camping and the campfires and the s'mores and hot dogs and grilling burgers. I love all that stuff. But you see, that's vacation, and that's little boys having fun, But this is real life today. Well, anyway, my wife passed away 4 months ago, and we were avid RVers. And since she died, I have really been trying with all of my might, honestly, to try to fight. I don't want to say depression, but that's the only word I know how to come up with. I don't know. Depression, I don't know. I'm not a psychologist. But it really messes up your mind. And I have had so many thoughts of doing so many things. I couldn't think clearly. And I've made videos in the past where I talked about, I'm going to do this. I'm going to sell my house and I'm going to move back home to Mississippi. I'm going to move to Arizona. No, I'm not going to do. I'm going to get a condo up in Sholo, Arizona. No, I don't think. I may go to Prescott, Arizona. I might do that. But I'm going to explore Idaho too and Wyoming. I want to do, scatterbrained, because my head was not right. My head was like an emotional roller coaster, and there are a lot of you now. You may be down on your luck. You may have lost a job. You may be wondering, what am I going to do? And you're vulnerable. You don't know. So you're watching YouTube videos. You're watching these RV channels. And again, I'm not knocking the RV community. I love the RV community. But there are some, and I'm going to say the majority, they are packaging how wonderful this lifestyle is, and they're not showing you the bad. So what I'm asking RVers, why don't you show the real true side of RVing? Why don't you talk about what do you do whenever you're broke down on the side of the road, or you're out in the middle of the desert somewhere and you have horrible internet connection because everybody out there is using the internet, and so the towers are just being drugged down and there's hardly no power. You can't even hardly upload a video that you make. It may take you half a day to do it because there's just so many people using the internet. Why don't you talk about what do you do whenever your black tanks are full and you're stuck and you can't do anything? You have to empty them, but you can't because you're broke down. Why don't you talk about whenever you're out there and you live in your RV and that is your home, and now your home is broke down and it's got to go into the shop for about a $2, $3, $5, $10,000 repair. And what you have to do, because you have to take it to a mechanic or an RV place that'll fix it, but you have to get out of that RV. You can't stay there. You've got to do something. And what if you don't have the money to make these repairs? What do you do then? I wish you would talk about whenever it's like 90, 95 degrees outside temperature, but inside your RV it's 110, 120, and in some cases 130 degrees, and you have no air conditioner because your solar system and your battery system is not powerful enough to work the air conditioner. Why don't y'all talk about that? Folks, if you're thinking about becoming a full-time RVer, I am begging you to do your due diligence. This is not a lifestyle where you just sell everything you have, sell everything that's normal to you. And then you go buy some real old, because you don't have a lot of money, so you buy an old RV. It may be 15, 20 years old, but remember, when you buy an older RV or an older vehicle, a Class C, B, a Class A travel trailer, all of those parts, all of those rubber gaskets and fittings and belts and all that stuff is also 20 years old. And whenever one thing goes out, you can believe something else is going to go out too. If you don't have a really nice nest egg, it's going to be very tough. You'll always hear me say, I think I said it yesterday, I could very easily be a full-time RVer. The reason I say that, and I'm not bragging, honestly, I'm just talking about my condition. I am in a position that where if I sold my house, if I sold a lot of my toys and vehicles and all kind of stuff that I've accumulated, I would have a pretty good nest egg of money, let me tell you. Plus, I have money that comes in every month that's way more than adequate, especially to live an RV life. If things got bad, I'll make enough money where I could actually live in an RV park somewhere or a campground somewhere, and I could live very good. But are you in that position? That's what I'm trying to drive at. If there's a lot of good, and a lot of you kind of jump on Bob Wells, because he does package the RV life as, come and get your freedom and all that kind of stuff. Come out here. Years back, you can make it on $500, but you got to have an emergency fund. I would say that emergency fund is probably the most important thing that you have. And I don't mean have $500 saved up. I'm talking about, I know a lot of you may disagree, but I'd say you better have about 10 to 20,000 saved up, because you never know what kind of bind you're going to get in. You never know what kind of real serious mechanical trouble you're going to have. And that's going to throw you into some kind of hotel, and you got to eat out 3 times a day and pay that hotel for Lord knows how long. not counting the expense of getting your rig fixed. So I guess what I'm asking is two things. People that RV full-time, please share the rough side to educate the vulnerable people. You know, like me, for example. Again, I'm fighting, trying to recover, grieve, or whatever you want to call it, my wife's death. It still bothers me terribly, terribly. And especially when she first passed, my mind was totally screwed up. I didn't know left from right, up or down. I was very confused, and I almost made some big time mistakes. I really did. I almost thought about just selling my house. I had someone that was interested in buying my house, but they were really giving me kind of a lowball offer. And I was at a point in my life where I almost said, okay, I'll take your lowball offer and I'm getting the heck out of here and I'm going to go get an RV and I'm going to just let the good times roll. That would have been the biggest mistake of my life, I think, if I would have done that. I'm glad I came to my senses. And it took a little time to get to those normal senses that I have. And I'm still not quite there. I still think sometimes, should I sell? Should I move? Should I go back home? Should I maybe live in the RV? I'm in a much different financial position, though, than a lot of you are who maybe have lost a job or whatever. If you're considering this lifestyle again, do your due diligence. Really think about it. You're leaving what you know as normal and comfortable. You're leaving your home that probably has ample storage and all your favorite things in it to give all that up and then try to talk yourself into this thing that they preach about, less is more. I don't know about that. That depends on you, the individual. Less is more. I don't know about that. I have a lot of things that I would not like to give up. That's why I bought them, because they were important to me. They may be just junk and trinkets to you, but to me they're important. So RV people that make these, you have the channels out there, I'm asking you just to tell the truth to the people. Show them the bad side as well as the good side, because you could be responsible in some weird way of talking someone into selling the only thing that they have that's secure, their home, to go get an RV and to go out onto BLM land, only for them to find out that they hate it. And now they've given up their homes and there's no home that you can go back to, because when you sell your house and you buy RVs and all that stuff and you have your emergency fund, if you don't like it and you want to go back to sticks and bricks, you may not have the money to be able to replace the home that you sold. It's a lot to think about, guys. That's all I want to talk about for right now. Please take a moral high ground position, RVers that make YouTube videos, and tell the people the truth, okay? It's not all roses and rainbows, and you know it's not all roses and rainbows. Tell the people that, will you? That'd be the right thing to do. Thanks a lot. I'm Jimmy Rance.